So let's just begin this up with a good note since we have been lagging behind time as well. So, hello everyone. I hope you are doing well. Firstly, I did like to welcome you all to today's webinar. In this webinar, our prime focus will be upon the building designs from its starting phase to its entire life cycle, where we will be focusing upon mostly onto the product known as Revit, and where we are used to have design outputs related to our documentation as well as with respect to our design core part and its modeling. So, little bit about myself. So, I am Anurag Pamnani, the solution specialist for architecture at Capricorn Technologies. And here is little bit to tell you about our organization. So from last 3 decades, Capricorn has played significant role in country's computer-aided design adoption process. And our focus is more upon the information modeling from its start phase of a design to its end phase, as well as we try to help out the construction industries though was working on three of the domains, that is AEC, which is architectural engineering construction, secondly media and entertainment, as well as on third part of it product and design manufacturing. So we are more into the integrated solutions with methods and procedures to enhance our productivity and to reduce the project risk at your end. Coming back to our scope, and we are delighted to inform you that we have a global footprint to serve best of our abilities, and Capricorn Technology is now a part of an Arkens group. So let's just move on to the content slide, which we would be covering in this session. And in the earlier design phase, we have seen like how we can set up an initial projects and how we can set the grids down, how what are the elements or the core structural portions that are available to us in the software phase. And in today's part, we are going to look at first the easy creation of a presentation drawing. So we almost take a lot of time in working with different softwares where we draft in 2D and then we just move on to Photoshop or some Adobe's product where we always do our presentation skills and improve presentation, and then we put them onto the PPTs and we showcase to our clients. But with Revit, it's easy to work. Even when we are working on a project, we can create the presentation drawings. Secondly, we would be looking at what view range, view templates, and graphic overrides does in Revit part of it. So it is quite similar to what layers are in AutoCAD. And this is how it helps us a particular view to be arranged and to have a defined elements visible into the view. It helps us in understanding and arranging those graphics. Thirdly, we would be looking upon how to quantify schedules. For example, if I'm working on any architectural drawing, so it has number of elements like doors, windows, lintel height to be discussed and all. So eventually we create all these tables down, and we have their quantity scheduled by writing text onto a particular table and inserting a table onto the AutoCAD. But in this, we are already with each line has its own properties, as well as it helps us to catch those properties directly onto our schedules. So it saves a quite a lot of time for us and makes our work more easier and more detailed with less errors. Fourth, we would be looking upon the revision cloud, which is the right for information. If someone is working at site or even who is a part of a project or involved in a project, so he can ask for the information, right informations, and you can just mark those informations what you need, and someone exactly knows what the drawing is asking for, and he can revert back with the same information to you. So this process becomes quite clear in terms of communication, and it helps us to reach our desired goals. Fifth, we would be looking upon the sheet family and its composition, how to have it on a single component with number of tags inbuilt in it, and to easily export it in any of the formats we need, whether in CAD or some other formats. And lastly, we would be having a Q&A session for 10 minutes where we can look up to the questions or doubts someone is having with respect to products. So let's just begin this down. And here is why we are having a shift from a 2D phase to a 3D phase. So where we are talking about the CAD to a Revit part, where each line has its defined properties and data, which tells us clearly about the information that is being used in a project to develop it. So that's why we are trying to move more of the persons from an CAD domain to an Revit domain, where there is also information related to an information modeling, which in today's world is known as building information modeling, BIM. So here we would like to just begin our webinar by introducing you with the challenges that AEC industry is facing today as per our experts and their observations. I will just like to play this.
Construction. It's one of the most important industries in history, but as builders know all too well, for half a century, it has faced an increasingly complex challenge: communication. The question is, what can we do about the information overload that's causing it and the outdated processes that are holding the industry back?
The information overload of getting that right data to the right person at the right time is growing.
It's imperative to make sure that we know what's going on and communicate that all the way through.
Technology is the tool to help us get there.
When there's miscommunication, then you have to second guess everything that you've done.
Ultimately, we're all making decisions on these projects, and the end goal is to build the best project possible.
We are continuously learning about how people work together and how technology can help. Take language and tools, two things that arguably make us human, two things that lead to the most arguments. Why is that? And how do they lead to miscommunication in construction? To put it simply, when something changes, the right people need to know. File version 10 came through at midnight, then the foreman needs it in hand that morning. These kinds of changes are constant, and when you add in the growing complexity of tools, inefficiencies take hold, and miscommunication spreads across all stages of the process, resulting in costly rework and real impacts on budgets and safety.
We are historically tied to a lot of archaic processes. We get on the phone, we send a text message, we send an email.
Prior to looking at online platforms, right, there's a lot of chances for our information to be lost or misplaced.
Technology changes. It has changed at a rapid pace, and it's not slowing down.
You need a system that allows teams to work off of the same information. And a lot of the errors that we commit that can cause quality issues or safety issues have to do with simple things like communication.
The challenge I think we have is, how do we get that information into a single source of truth?
Let's take a step back and see how we got here. In the first half of the 20th century, the industry built at a truly rapid pace compared to today. But by the 1970s, the divergence began to form between construction and other industries. As technology leapt forward, propelling other industries into the 21st century, construction was left behind. No single issue is responsible for this productivity stagnation, but miscommunication is a major contributor. Builders need to keep their teams up to date at all times. If they can't, the impact is felt industry-wide. This is why we're helping bring construction industry collaboration and communication into the 21st century. How? By making technology that simplifies essential tools and better connects project data so designers, builders, and owners can stay on the same page and make smarter, faster decisions.
A lot of companies take a paper process and just make it digital. Autodesk Construction Cloud takes the process and doesn't only make it digital, but it transforms a business.
With Autodesk Construction Cloud, we have one unified login, one central place that our projects can get information.
It provides an opportunity now for close project collaboration, teams to be able to confidently get into an environment and find what they're looking for, and to be able to rely on a true data source of information.
We're building a single source of truth across the full project lifecycle. We're a job site with more answers, fewer miscommunications, and less risk. where everyone has the information they need whenever they need it.
We're not just buying software, right? We can buy software from anybody. What we're buying is a true partner in this journey, this digital transformation journey that we're going over for the next 20 to 30 years to be able to provide a solution that's going to help our field be safe, allow our field to provide better quality, allow our field to be more productive, which also helps out the entire industry.
As an individual, I see the benefit as just having somebody get home earlier, having a better work-life balance, being able to do more with less.
The rise of information and complexity continues to place massive demands on the construction industry and how it communicates. There's no going back. But the next step is clear. Centralized data across all phases and teams for better communication, better collaboration, and after decades of stagnation, a better way to build for a better world designed and made for all.
So it tells us clearly about the focusing industries and also what we are focusing upon, that is 2D drawings, where our project delivery becomes a quite common issue and we are not able to resolve it. Most of our projects remains 95% at their ending stage itself. So all those billing, budgeting, costing, scheduling becomes a quite hectic task where this industry with Revit solution is focusing upon. Next, I would be going on to the part of AEC collection, where we offer the engineers, designers, and professionals with the tools and integrated workflows to achieve their desired outcome. From their conceptual stage of working with the softwares like Forma and Formit and moving with the Revit for more detailing and designing the documents. And then for visualization, we usually use the Twinmotion as a product nowadays. So here is another part for it.
Architects can harness the power of design, visualization, and analysis tools with the Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Collection from Autodesk. Within the collection, architects use tools to seamlessly conceive, model, optimize, and coordinate their designs with AEC professionals across multiple disciplines and throughout the life cycle of a project. In the early stages of your design, you can use Autodesk Formit Pro to create a conceptual massing study within the context of the site. Easy-to-learn sketching and drawing tools allow you to sketch and iterate on your ideas. And if you are looking for additional inspiration, you can even invite other architects in different locations to a design session in real time as you settle on an idea to further develop. Your conceptual designs translate into BIM data in later design stages. And once the initial idea has been conceived, it can be further modeled to a higher degree of detail in an intelligent 3D model with Revit. And since Revit leverages BIM to reduce errors and omissions, you can work in your preferred view, whether it's 2D or 3D. Any design change that you make will automatically update impacted parts of your model, including schedules, sections, and elevations. And if you work with stakeholders who use AutoCAD, Revit can import and export DWG files. When you're exporting to DWG, you have complete control over layers, line weights, and line types. With ReCap Pro, we've simplified the process of reality capture so that anyone, beginner or specialist, can scan building sites faster and easier than ever before. Now you can scan quickly and accurately for surveying, planning, renovating, and constructing new buildings or infrastructure. As your Revit model progresses, you can optimize how it will ultimately perform once constructed with Autodesk Insight. With the click of a button, you have access to trusted industry-leading simulation engines for whole building energy, heating, cooling, and daylighting simulations that leverage cloud computing techniques to present millions of potential outcomes at once. With Insight, you'll receive real-time visual feedback that will inform your final design decisions and help you determine how your building design will perform throughout the course of its lifetime. With the Revit Live Cloud service, architects can easily turn Revit and Revit LT models into immersive experiences in just one click. By exploring the model in virtual reality, designers can understand and experience their designs, and then share them with project stakeholders and clients to better communicate design intent. You can also optimize the visual appeal of your design with Autodesk 3ds Max. When you export your model to 3ds Max, building materials are automatically transferred, allowing you to focus on creating the final animation scene with easy-to-use tools like Populate and the Walkthrough Assistant. When complete, the final animations can help you win more business. As an architect who is managing a project team with stakeholders across multiple disciplines, you can use Autodesk Navisworks Manage to resolve complex scheduling issues and resolve costly clashes before the project is constructed. With the Architecture, Engineering, and Construction Collection, we've made it easier for architects to move from conceptual design to multidiscipline coordination by giving you access to powerful tools that aid in the development of every aspect of your design.
So this is how Revit actually helps us in AEC industry with its integrated workflows and make our work easier, faster with reduced errors. So let's just look on to the today's agenda part, where we would be having presentation skills to be developed with help of the room techs. And what this is, it gives us the presentation as well as it gives us the core values that are defined with a particular spaces. So it can be a floor-based family, it can be a part of room text, space text, or zone text. Usually in architectural part of it, we use it in a form of room text as to give the area and volume to a space. So this is how it helps in giving a better presentation at the same period of time without investing much on the part of presentations. Coming to the part of view range and visibility. So here you can see we have a view range where it is top plane, cut plane. We would be looking this particularly onto the live demo part of this webinar. And particular views like floor plans, sections have their, or ceiling plans do have their own visibility range. So if I'm cutting a section down from anywhere, above it or below it, I would be able to see or imagine those space. So if I am looking below a cut plane, it comes under my floor plan. If it's above my cut plane, so it becomes a part of ceiling plan as well. So this is how view range and visibility graphics help us to create. As we create certain particular layers onto the AutoCAD, visibility graphics are a part of particular element or component within a Revit, like doors, windows. They act as a particular component. If you switch them off, it will completely freeze it up and will get disappeared from our view. So this is how this view ranges and visibility acts as a layer and helps us to manage our drawings. Thirdly, we would be looking at the quantity and scheduling based on the architectural plan or an structural plan, where we can take out the quantifications for columns, door, windows, floors, room spaces, etc. And fourth, we would be looking upon the sheet composition and how we can load down the sheet and can impose certain detailing parts onto the sheet, and then can export these files directly in a form of PDF or DWG drawings. Finally, we are going to look at write for information, where you can see over here as we can mark down the area what we need. Landing needs to be 1.25, or you need to give information to someone else to make a corrections onto the site. So this tool as a markup is used over there, where we can have the number of things as an issue, and we can raise those issues particularly to a particular person working on the project. So let's just move on to the live demo now. And I would move on to my software. Over here, you can see it already develops a 3D part. I would be moving on to level 0. And here I do have my floor plan, and I need to detail these plans. So I can type DI and I can have the dimensioning continuously. And in this way, I can make details to our drawings. I need in total, I can mark it as total. So these are all the dimensions arranged in itself. So this becomes a part of my details in case of dimensioning and formulating the things. Even I need certain text. So what I would be doing is under the architectural tab, we have the room space. And here you can see we can define those spaces. And this one. So right for now, it's more than sufficient for me. And I can simply give it a name like bedroom. This becomes my master bedroom. Suppose this becomes my store. This is my hall, or you can say living. And this is a part of drawing. And this is suppose dress. So as I have notified each room and it has taken a particular space, it has given me a number. It has given me a particular room name, and then it gives me a certain area that is associated with this particular space. So this makes data information more specific, more clear, and more better in terms of things. So what can I do with these things is like these are particular family. If you just double click on any of them, it will open up my entire family, which is a type of tech family. So here is the room specified, its name, and it's a square foot of area. If you need certain more information with respect to room, you can go on to edit label. You can click over here and you can have those parameters particularly inbuilt and add them here. So it will also tag those particular areas that has been added onto the tag. So this is how it helps. And these room templates are also a part of family tagging itself, as we have number of components in a form of blocks in CAD. So what I would be doing now is I need a presentation drawing. So what I have done is I was working in level 0. I can right click on it and I can create a duplicate view with detailing. So I have done this and created this presentation floor plan where you can see now as soon as I have tagged those areas, so it has given me particular colors and presentations and has tagged what area is all about. So in this way, we can have those particular presentations onto the drawings itself. Furthermore to it, let's just see what we can do with the walls as well. So if I need to represent my walls with certain colors, that this is particularly for 200 mm walls, and these are like 100 mm walls. So I can go on to the edit type of wall under properties, and I can make or edit the structure. I can impart materials to it, which is a brick in common. And over here you can see I have a surface hatch, which is a brick hatch, and I have this hatch as a brick wall hatch. So under the background, I would just play with solid color, and I can change any of the colors to make it more presentable. Like this can be easily understood with design and the denotation of colors, that all the color which have the orange as a background color is 200 mm thickness wall. So here likewise, this is like 100 mm, but yet it is being presented with 200. So what we can do right now is like we can create another sort of wall type just by typing WA, and then go on to edit, can create or duplicate this particular file and can say it's an 100 mm generic wall. And type this, and I can go on to edit and I can remove all those layers which are not needed in the case. And I can remove this finish layer as well. And this is 100 mm, which is concrete mason. I can go on to this part. This is the hatch provided, and I can say this needs to be in solid fill color with certain different color. This, apply and OK. Apply and OK. So if I choose this wall, and this is 115 mm generic wall, if I just go on to 100, this becomes an 100 mm wall with a clear representation that this wall is of 4 inches or 100 mm. So in this way, we can work throughout the drawings for the better way of presenting the drawings. So this was all with respect to a drawing presentation skills. Then we would be looking particularly with respect to visibility graphics. So you can see here is the door, and we can also tag down the doors and windows by going on to annotate, and we can tag these by category. So whatsoever you gives it's a name like D1, D2, it will create a schedule for those things. That this door is D1 and it has a lintel size of lintel height this much, door height in total this much, head height is this, and it gives us in form of informations. Thirdly, secondly, under this, I was working on a floor plan which is at level 0. So I can go on to this visibility graphic overlays where I have number of layers associated with all of the elements present in the drawings. So if I just pick up the door part and just off it, apply it and get it okay. So now you can see all the door layers associated with particular doors have been switched off onto the particular plan. So likewise, you can type VG and can again check on and off accordingly. So this acts as a layer. Coming back to the part of cutting plans and views. So we have, if I need certain things at first floor, which should be visible to me as an underlay. So I can choose this underlay option, and I can choose this whether I need a 0 level or first level as an underlay, and we can choose that as well. Then coming to a part of view range here. So this is particularly view range. So you can see cut plane is there, which is cutting at an height of 5 feet, that is 1500 mm, and its top plane is 2300 mm. So anything below 23 would be visible to me in plan. That's the whole logic behind this view range. So just for an example, if I'm bringing a component of a furniture over here and I'm placing it, so these three are my basic components, and I can cut a section meanwhile from here. So I can pick this and cut a section. So as soon as I cut the section, you can see under the section dialog box, I have this section 1, I can rename it. And these are all associated with level 0. Just for an example, what I have shown you is the visible range 2300 mm. So 2300 mm, below it, everything would be visible. Above it, everything anything won't be visible on my floor plan. So just for an example, I am turning this particular thing on to level 1, which is now at a height of 3000, which is above 2300. So now if I'm going on to my level, you can see there are only 2 of the tables available. So this is how a view range works to see particular elements clearly in the views, and it acts as a graphic to add level of details onto a particular plan to have certain graphics to present our drawings better onto the sheet formats. So we can on and off these layers and work accordingly. Thirdly, we would be looking more onto the aspect of working with schedules. So on the right hand sections, I do have this schedule tab, and I can just go on to schedule, right click on it and say I have to develop new schedule. And here we have tagged number of rooms. So let's just create this thing with help of room itself. So I would be having the room tag. So this becomes my room. So I have developed a schedule which is known as room schedule 2, and it's a new phase of construction, I would say, and just press on OK. Now, with respect to those areas, I need those areas of room. I need the count of room. I need the family type and at what level that room is particularly at. What is the room name? And what is its perimeter, I can say. So I can choose these by moving them up and down. So I will pick the name first. Then I need a count. Then at what area it is, what level, and what perimeter it has. And I can just go and click on OK. So you can see here. So this is unmatched information. I can delete this rows and all. And that becomes my bedroom 1 hall. So it gives me the name of a room, what count does it belongs to, what area does it has, which level is it located associated with, and what is its perimeter in mm. So in CAD, we always used to have these tables inserted. Then we are writing by creating the boundaries or enclosed boundaries or polylines. We used to create those areas, type AA, enter, O, enter, and then we take out particular areas, we write them onto the schedule box. So this automatically automates our process of working and saves a lot of time in that particular process. In case I need to have certain things with respect to columns also I can have, or with respect to doors. Suppose let's take down with another category and let's develop a new schedule based on the door part. So I have this category which acts as a door category. I can choose existing or new construction. I can press OK. Now, with respect to doors, what all things I need is the count of door swing direction, which family and type does it belongs to, what is the frame material, what is its head height, what is its basic height, which level doors is associated with, width of a door, and so on. So I can bring down the family type on the top, what count it has, and what height it has, width of a door, and then I can press level. And one more thing was like lintel height, if it's there. So likewise, we can choose a number of options to work with. And suppose this is the sill height, so there would be a part where lintel height will also be mentioned over here. And I can type OK. So it develops in second schedule for me. So you can see it has a tag, which is a particular family. This is of particular family type. And you can even sort these family out on the basis of particular family, because this is 900 by 2500, this is 1000 by 25. So you can also go on to these fields option, can edit the fields accordingly. And here is the door swing, whether it is going to have single swing, right swing, left swing, and so on. Here's the head height, which level is it been associated with. Even if a material frame is not put in, you can put it here like oak jam or something like that. Oak. Suppose if I get laminate, so automatically it drops down into this drop down menu, and you can easily fill this up. So it adds in further information, particularly to the door type as well. So in this way, we can work with the schedules on the part. Coming back to the part where we need to generate certain information with respect to the drawings, I would go back on to level 0, and under the annotate tab, I have this part of revision cloud. And suppose I need this particular information. I can choose this version. I say okay. So it has generated in cloud that this area I need an information about, or this area has certain defects. So if anyone working on a site with respect to this area should correct those details, particularly on the site, I can give them the information. I can take that information from them as well. So they can notify me what is the current position of this part with respect to our drawing and work in progress. And further, it's in revision cloud area, so I can again type VG. And if I need to change the color, so under the annotation category of it, I have this revision cloud. So this is the part of revision cloud, and I can give it a color over here, suppose pink color, and say okay. So it automatically applies to the annotation of a particular category that was revision cloud. I can go on to annotate, can take a text and can simply write over here in big that confirm lending width. And I can associate this to a particular person who is working. And even you can see here are the marks and comments. Here is the revision number, whom it is issued to and issued by. So all this position, once filled, it will particularly notify this particular element and who is concerned person to look after this particular issue and notify me back on the same topic. So it develops a clear sort of communication between two of the persons working on the same project and as a part of team members. So this is how this tool is quite helpful. Now, the last part of it is like we would be looking at how sheets have been developed and how we can bring on the sheets and create a develop with the scales. So here we have an options of sheets. You can see here is an A1101 unnamed, which is a particularly A0 size of sheet. And I can further go on to insert. And here I have an option for loading down the families. So under the loading families, you can see under architectural, or I can go back with respect to this. And I can choose my library, English, US, and here I have the title blocks. So A0, A1, whatsoever format you think is liable for a project to work upon on the scale portion, you can bring and load those files directly onto the project. And in this way, you can work easily. And as well as just for an example, if this is level 0 and I need that particularly on my sheet, I can drag and drop that. So with a particular sheet, you see it has tagged everything that this is on a scale of 1:100. This is at level 0. If I need this particular element to be in some other scale, I can pick on the element onto the drawing itself, and I can change this scale down to say 1:50. Let's change it to this. So automatically onto our sheets, this will get modified. So now you see the area complete region has been broadened and widened. And here I can bring down those sheets likewise. So this is how complete scaling and a documentation process helps us to work in more desired way without errors, simplify your work and make your work much more easier for the team members as well as you on the part of designing and documenting. So that's it from my end. If anyone is having any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm just pausing my screen share now. So if anyone is not having any questions, so thank you so much for being the part of this webinar. Hope it would have been fruitful for you in terms of its scope and needs. So thank you so much once again for joining this webinar. We'll end this soon.